Nou, hallo. Nou, zo.
Okay, we were on page 29 of the Laws and Customs booklet. And we're going to Erev Pesach, the Eve of Pesach, which this year Pesach is on Thursday, Friday, first 2 days. So this is on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning. So we still are able to have breakfast, a chametz breakfast. In davening, if we ended yesterday with number 2, bottom of the page. We do not say Mizmor L'Soda on Erev Pesach and throughout Chol HaMoed. The Mizmor L'Soda, the song of thanksgiving. That was
Sorry to interrupt. I was told to give this to you. This is as I asked was pen, and this is for the phone. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
so. Since for this Karban, there was chametz brought. It was not placed on the altar, but it was part of the Karban was also chametz. So since chametz does not be brought, so this korban todah cannot be brought. This Thanksgiving sacrifice was not brought, and therefore Mizmor L'Soda is omitted. That is the prayer that comes after Baruch Shamar. Those who are familiar with our morning prayers for the weekdays. So throughout on the day before Pesach, so this korban was not brought, and also throughout Chol HaMoed, the intermediate days of Pesach was also not brought. So during the weekday davening, we omit these L'Soda. Number 3, we may eat chametz on Erev Pesach, the day before Pesach, until the end of the 4th hour, which is with the first third of the day. And normally it was about 9:30 with daylight saving. It is an hour later, so it's about 10:30. One would have to check the calendar for the exact timing. So we have now from 10:30 for the next hour till 11:30. You can have benefit from the chametz. You cannot eat it, but you can it still belongs to you. You can have benefit from it. And benefit would mean that you could sell it, you could give it away, you could put it out into the streets. It would have to be, you cannot put it in your own garbage container, because the garbage container is yours. So what we would do is put it into bags, we take it off your property and put it out into public property, where it becomes hefker. It becomes now whoever wants to take it may take it. At one time, I see you're laughing. At one time, there was a garbage strike, and people wanted to get rid of their garbage. So they put out their garbage and they put ribbons on top, and there was a box, and it looked like it was something valuable. And sure enough, it disappeared. So people, you do put out when you put out the bottles. So you do see that the bottles also disappear. Someone comes along and collects all the bottles because they get a nickel for it. So anyone who wants to take the chametz, you're welcome to take it after you put it out in public property. So you don't put it out in your own garbage container, because then it's still your property. You would also, before Pesach, you have your garbage container. You would wash it out, make sure that it's clean. You can still use it, but it would just be a clean garbage container. Now, within the 5th hour, and no later, we make a fire to burn the chametz, and we also nullify the chametz. by saying the second Chol Kamila. So I think you've covered this in the previous class, right? With the searching of the chametz and the chametz. Did they explain what was the purpose of all these three? And everything was explained. Okay. What was the spoon for? Why the spoon? Okay. The spoon. What was the spoon for?
Pick up the crumbs.
Pick up the crumbs. Yes. You have the feather to do a little sweeping, a little brush, and the candle is specific to have a candle. Even if you have lights, you have a flashlight, where you're also going to be using the flashlight for places that you could not go with a candle, the closets, under the beds, things that are near curtains. You're going to be careful to make it not a fire concern. So you could use the flashlight. You were told when using the candle, lights open, lights closed. Which one?
Lights off.
Hmm?
Lights off.
When you initially start, then you can put on the lights. Whatever you see, whatever makes you see better, that's what you do. There is a spiritual significance to the candle. You were told about that?
We were, I just forgot.
Name Hashem Nishmas Adam. Man's soul is God's candle. Within, he searches all the innermost. So this is also, as we're doing the physical searching, there's also a spiritual searching as well. It says that the Alter Rebbe, when he searched for his chametz, he only had one room, and it took him all night until the morning to do the searching of the chametz in that one room, which was clean before Pesach. So it was not only getting rid of the physical chametz, but also there is the spiritual chametz, the represented by the Yetzer Hara, represented by one's ego, all of that which has to be searched and see that it's being used in the service of Hashem. Being proud is also a positive thing. When you're proud of who you are, you're able to do things and not be intimidated by others who are mocking you, scoffing you, or looking at you in the wrong way. So the candle is essential as representing the soul, doing soul searching. So even if you're not going to be using the candle at all times, still you start off with a candle. Now the spoon, it in addition to using it as a to scoop up the chametz in it, and what are the how many pieces are put out?
10 pieces.
10 pieces. What do they represent?
The 10 workers?
10 levels of impurity. Just as you have 10 levels of holiness, there's also 10 levels of impurity. And as we're taking away the impurity, we're taking away also as we're taking away the 10 pieces of chametz, we're also removing the 10 levels of impurity.
So what if we're leaving before Passover, like the week before, so we're gonna be back during Passover, so should we do this before we leave?
Okay. Those who will not, they will be using the premises during Passover. The last day you were here, the night before, you would do, without a blessing, but you would do exactly what you would do the night before Passover. All the pieces and then what you do is you take that with you wherever you're going. It's going to be burnt on the day before Pesach.
Take what? Take,
What are you going to do with the chametz? That you have 10 pieces.
what if we don't find any?
Well, no, we put out 10 pieces.
Oh, okay.
Or even if you're going to do it before, we also put out the 10 pieces. It's the same spiritual searching of the chametz as we do the night before. The difference is concerning the blessing. So those who are not going to be on the premises, and no one's going to be on the premises during Pesach, you would include that in the sale of the chametz, which I will be distributing this and giving instructions how this is done. We'll speak about this right before the end of class, so we have even opportunity to sell the chametz. So now the spoon was now the 10 pieces are Kabbalistic. Why we put out the 10 pieces? In Shulchan Aruch it suggests that you put some chametz out in order to be able to find something, because you've done such a good job in cleaning. So to put something out. But, well, what happens when they did not put it out? So the spoon was usually used for chametz. They would stir the spaghetti, they would stir the soups. All of that was so until the spoon was a very chametz spoon. So they actually used the spoon. They took a spoon that was used all year round, a wooden spoon, and that was the one that they would do the searching with, and that was the one that they would do the burning. So you had something that is chametz. You had also an indicator. It says that when you were putting away the chametz, in order to identify where your chametz is, if we look at the instructions, we burn the chametz. Here in Crown Heights, they do have in front of 770, they have a bin where everyone from the community could bring to the fire truck standing there, standing by. And the people who don't want to have their own fire would bring it in front of 770, they can have the burn there. And that's for the community. Others will make their in their yards, they will make fire and burn the chametz. The temperature should not be wrapped in aluminum foil because it's not going to burn. You wrap it in paper. Then they suggest that face next page. On page 30. We shake out our pockets of our own clothes and those of our children to ensure that no crumbs of chametz remain. Sometimes people put cookies in their pockets and you just shake it out, so that should be done. It's suggested that when you wrap up the chametz, you have the stick sticking out, then you're able to identify this is the chametz bag, the one that you're going to burn. So it says, actually, those who give suggestions say that when you tie it up, after you've found the chametz or the pieces that are inside the 10 pieces, you wrap it up and then you have the handle protruding. And then, this is the chametz bag, identified it, and then you're going to have this for. Now, but you throw out the plastic, you should put it in a paper bag because the plastic is going to give off these fumes. Not recommended. To put it, to transfer it into a paper bag. Now there are two nullification that we do. You've learned about that, right? Nullification. What I'm saying? Nullification. We nullify the chametz after the searching. The first one is that any chametz that we did not find, we do not want to own. We did a search. We did our best. For those who have small children, the children sometimes will hide their pretzel bags in very good places that no one could find, that they're secret stash. And you have to sort of be an investigator to, when you're searching for the chametz, you try to figure out where would someone hide their chametz. In my family, I could find it interesting places under the steam when they have like a little box, you can sort of hide things there. You search it, but you did a good search, you'll find a little, little hideouts that the children will hide their nash. So what happens if you didn't find it? So you make a notification that you don't want to own anything that you didn't find during your searching of the chametz. When you're burning the chametz, you say, at this point, I don't want to own any chametz that's on my premises, anything that belongs to me, I'm making it ownerless. So there are two forms. First one is for nullification of chametz that you did not find. That's done after the searching of the chametz at night. The nullification of the chametz, when you're burning the chametz, I don't want to own any chametz at all.
What we should do if there are tiny homeless?
What are you?
What we should do? If there are little tiny things.
Chametz during Pesach?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when you find chametz during Pesach, so there are matters when, if it's on Yom Tov or Shabbos, you just cover it up, put something over it. So remember that's where the chametz is, it will not be visible, you cover it up. If it is the time that you could burn it, you would actually burn it. If it is a larger size, which would be about an ounce, you actually make a bracha before you burn it. If it's less than an ounce, you just burn it. An ounce is the 28 gram. So if it's less than 28 gram, you just burn it. If it is 28 gram up and on, you actually make a bracha, Shem says mitzvah on biur chametz, and then you burn it. The continuing on page 30. Now, from midday, this was the time that the Korban Pesach was brought. The Passover sacrifice that every family ate. It was a family gathering. One person would go to the Beis Hamikdash and bring the sheep. And on behalf of all those who are included in this family unit, you would have to say beforehand that you want to be a part of this gathering. And at that point, it became a holiday that we treated the same as Chol HaMoed, as the intermediary days, where you could not do any work like laundry. We don't do laundry, no sewing. You could open lights, you could drive a car, but there are certain restrictions that we don't do on Chol HaMoed. We try to avoid lighting as much as possible. So there are different things that we do not do on Chol HaMoed. The same would also apply to midday on the Erev Pesach, the day before Pesach. That would also include that a Jewish person could not work. And among the people who are working that could not work after midday would be the barbers or the hairdressers. So a Jewish person could not be a barber or a hairdresser after midday. So therefore, what's the suggestion? That you do your haircut and grooming of the nails and all other grooming, do it before midday on Erev Pesach, which is Wednesday this year. However, if one did not do so, you could go to a non-Jewish barber, hairdresser, and have your hair done. But it's suggested that you take care of all of this before midday. So when it comes to midday, you're already in the holiday mode.
And then that's just it. Have a haircut or done after she do it.
So this would be, yes, so this is the first, in all communities, there's 34 days, that the 33 days, the 34th day that we do not take any haircuts. In Chabad, you don't take a haircut until Erev Shavuos. So this would go not only for men, also for the women as well. No haircut. So any grooming that you want to do, you do it before Pesach. If one, again, this also should include cutting our nails. If we did not do it earlier, we could cut our nails after midday, but it is recommended to be done before. We do not eat any matzah on Erev Pesach. Even small children, if they were able to understand about the holiday of Pesach, going out of Egypt, we don't give them any matzah on Erev Pesach. And there are different customs concerning eating matzah. When do you stop eating matzah? We want to make it a specialty. And the eating of the matzah is so special. There's what you don't eat is any matzah in the form that it's eaten for the Seder night. So therefore, there are those in Chabad, we stop from 30 days before, which would be from Purim on, you don't eat matzah. You could eat matzah that is not fit for the Seder night, which would include egg matzahs. And also those who want to have a matzah meal, use the matzah meal for coating the cutlets or the having matzah balls. All of this could be done because it's not the form that one would fulfill the obligation of the Seder night. So we stop from Purim on. Another community stop from which called Nissan, which is yesterday. There are those. The halacha is they cannot eat any matzah on the day before Pesach. the day before for the special mitzvah. Okay, we learned about Eil Tavshilin, correct? It's a 3-day holiday. It's Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos. We're going to learn about this in more detail of what you could do. We are cooking on Yom Tov, but you cannot prepare from one day to the other, unless it's leftovers. But we do want to have fresh food for Shabbos. How is it done? So you got this on the day before the Pesach, which is on Wednesday. You'll make a special. You'll have a baked item and a cooked item, and you'll make the cloth over it. You say, declare that with this, I'm going to be permitted to cook and bake, and also light candles. Then we're going to be lighting candles on Friday for Shabbos. It's going to be done on Yom Tov. We'll do this Eil Tavshilin. We are included. Someone could make a Eil Tavshilin for others as well. You'd have to have a second party that's going to pick it up on their behalf. In other words, if the person who's making the Eil Tavshilin, you give it to someone and say, this is going to be the baked item. In this case, it's a matzah, and also it's going to be a cooked item, whatever cooked item it is. So then they're going to pick it up on behalf and say, I'm picking it up on behalf of anyone who wants to join in on the Eil that you're making. And then give it back to the person making the Eil, then hold it and make the bracha. There is also an Eil Chatzelis. Are you familiar with that? So part of Hilchos Shabbos is that if there is a private domain and it's shared by more than one person in different families that have different their own apartments. So let's say an apartment house or a 2-family house with 2 different families. They want to use a communal place. In other words, they want to use the porch, which both are able to use. You want to use the alley that where you're able to carry. Both want to use an apartment building where you want to carry in the hall. So what you do is you make an Eil Chatzelis, which means that every person who wants to participate gives a matzah, and it goes to one person, and it will be kept in his house. By giving the matzah to that person, you are becoming a part of his household. So now, how many people own the property? There's only one person who owns the property. Everyone to whom the matzah was brought it now becomes the owner of the property, and everyone else are his guests. Halachically. Now we have a 2-family house. One of the 2 is going to choose to be the host. The other one is going to choose to be the guest. The one who's the host does not have to put out any matzah, it's in his house. The one who is the guest is going to bring him a matzah. And that is now going to, the host is now going to be the one who is in charge of all the properties. Let's say we have an apartment building with 10 different neighbors. One person is going to be the host, the other 9 are going to give a matzah before Shabbos, in this case before Pesach. And now, since a guest is able to be part of he's being hosted by the host, so now you can carry in all places where the host is able to carry. But since it's a apartment house, so now everyone becomes the other 9 people become his guests. They can carry from their home to the next apartment in their apartment building. We're not going outside, it's all enclosed, it's all private property. Go down in the hall and bring everyone can taste everyone else's food, what they make for Pesach, the different recipes and share things, and go and give and go into the lobby, and go into the yard, it's all enclosed, they all now become the guests of this host. What happens if there are non-Jewish people living in this apartment building? And then one would have to consult with a rabbi or how it is done. You actually have to rent his portion with the renting with a very small amount, whatever it is. So the rabbi would have to instruct them how it's being done. So if there is someone who is living in an apartment building, the Jewish people want to carry from one apartment to the other, and there are non-Jewish people living there, for those who don't keep Shabbos, they would have to make an arrangement with the non-Jewish people to enable the Jewish people to do it.
The one before where you made the roasted and the base, it was in somebody else's house, gonna be there for Shabbos.
But once you're a guest, you have no reason.
So,
You come to someone in their house, wherever they can carry, you can carry.
no, the thing about caring for Shabbos and lighting candles.
Mhm.
So if I'm a guest in someone else's house,
You included,
so I can light candles
yes.
and I.
If they're making they are making the Erev Tafshirim for everyone who's joining them for
Help them.
yes. So you would have to, if you're going to be there you're going to be there the whole
Once it through that midnight.
the whole time. So then you become a part of their household. When whoever makes the Erev Tafshirim doesn't have to make a specific one for you, because you're the guest, and it goes for everyone who's in the household.
What's that called?
Erev Tafshirim. It's on page. Here, it's on page 34, the bottom of 34, number 15, and it has the language and what it involves.
Who's usually doing, show the woman?
Anyone who's going to be cooking on Friday,
It's usually doing.
but you're the head of the household, you does it. Whoever does whoever leads the Seder, whoever does all these things. If they do not know how to do it, or whatever it may be, then someone who's designated that if they're going to be doing the cooking and be responsible for that, they would do. Okay, the Pesach after Mincha, before sunset, we say the Seder Korban Pesach. There is the actual description of how the Korban Pesach was actually done, with all the details. So, the others consider, which is voluntary. Those the case to say it, we have it in our index, in our table of contents. We find it more Kodesh Nissan, on page 407, where you have the description of the Passover sacrifice. We learned about the different foods that are eaten on Pesach that you covered, correct? That the difference between the Ashkenazi community and the Sephardic community, one of the differences, okay? We learned about the lighting of the candles. You could not produce a new fire, so therefore, you would have to. You'd have to have I guess a 2-day candle. The candle that lasts 2 days, you light it before Yontif. You'll have it to light the first night. First night will be done still on Wednesday. That you can do early. You don't need to come with existing candle because you light it before it's sundown. The same time as Erev Shabbos. Then on Thursday, so that's Wednesday night. And Thursday night, you light from the existing candle, and you have to wait until Yom Kippur is over. The time that you would normally, that Shabbos is over, that's when you would. That before that, you can't light on one day for the next. So you have to wait until the first day ends, and then you would light the candles at night after the stars come out. And it's just the candle. Then on Friday, you would light it before 18 minutes before the sundown from the existing candle. Now, adjusted, you cannot, if there's anyone burn the bottom of the, melt the bottom of the candles, so you hold to the candle holder, does anyone do that throughout the year? It's not done, adjusted, you can't do it. So, you can't melt the bottom, but it's not done anyway, by anyone here, it's not, I guess, relevant, so,
Yeah, also, I think we can have fallen candle.
yes.
Well, so what do you do? Keep it
Well,
clean.
you keep, you keep it, if you have a candle holder, you press the candle holder, you have the aluminum, little holders, you put it in, so you press it tight, it will hold tight into that, and then you put it in, you have it steady, that's all things. You do have, they sell these, inserts that go into the candle holder that holds whatever you put in tightly. In other words, you have the aluminum little tin to hold it tight, that itself has another tightener that's made out of rubber. That is sort of comes in different sizes. These are now people who try to make things easy for you, and you're able to have that. For instance, when it comes to the 10 pieces of hummus, they sell a little, that's expensive. 10 pieces come to they've made already for you, and you put it in a little packet that you don't have to take time to break it to pieces, and wrapping it up, and they do that for you. So make things easier. Okay.
I asked about the children. What if there is only one person?
Even so, you have to. They have to start. So it doesn't have to. So there's Erev Tachshilin and there's Erev Chatzeles. Both are called Erev, the same bracha. So one is to be able to carry from one apartment to the other. The other one is to enable you to be able to prepare on Friday for Shabbos. That's even if one person is there. They themselves are preparing on Friday for Shabbos. They're warming up water. They're lighting the candles. These are things that one person will do as well. So even one person would also make an Erev Tachshilin.
I'm saying how it's made.
Oh, so you'll do it for yourself, you won't give it to someone else, giving it to someone else is to include someone else for you. If you're only going to do it for yourself, or anyone who's in your household, then you don't have to give it to anyone else. It's only if you also want to include, another family, another person who's not a part of this household, you can also include them in your Tachshilin.
You literally have to look at it.
So you have to get someone else who's going to pick it up on their behalf.
But if you want to include, but there is only you, like, there is one person in the house, but you will have guests.
So the guests are included or whatever, they're included in your Erev Tachshilin. Since they are your guests, you already do it for everyone who's coming to doing it.
So, but I'm doing on my own,
That's correct.
like, I'm just involving the
Yes,
matzah and
That's
food
correct,
and say
yes.
broth.
that's correct. So the others do not need their own Erev Tachshilin if they're going to be eating by you and you've done all the preparations. Or they could also, since they are now your guests, they are all included in your Erev Tachshilin. In other words, if they will come on Friday, they could light the candles for Shabbos because of your Erev Tachshilin. They don't have to have their own. It's only when you're going to be doing their preparation in your own home on Friday that they need it.
When do you need to hand it to somebody?
If you want to include others, there's there are two, you are living in a basement in someone's house. And you don't want to make your own Erev Tachshilin, you'll be going in and out, whatever it is, you want someone to want to be included in the landlord's Erev Tachshilin.
Not their
So
guest.
yes, you're not a guest, you have your own basement, you're renting your own place, you're the landlord, you asking the landlord to include you in their Erev Tachshilin. So then you ask the landlord that they could put you as well, so the landlord will have to have another person who's going to pick it up on your behalf, if you're not there. You could take another member of his own home, who would after Bar Mitzvah and say, pick this up for anyone else who wants to be included in this Tachshilin. So it doesn't have to be the person who's going to be actually joining, it has to be anyone who's going to pick it up on behalf of others who are going to be joining in this Tachshilin, who are not a part of the household, who are not guests in this household.
They have to actually hand it to them?
So the person who's person who is going to be saying, I'm picking it up on behalf of anyone who wants to join the day of that children, and then we give it to the one who is taking it on.
As I know, it's often used, of neighborhood or city or also to those factories.
Again,
The Rab,
Oh.
or the city or the neighborhood also supposed to be.
so usually the Rav will do it on behalf of anybody who forgot to do it. It only works one time for people who forgot. If they ask him specifically, then that's one thing. But after someone forgot, they come to shul the next day and I can't make it out of feeling, what should I do? The Rav says, I had everyone in mind in this city, that everyone in this city who wants to join in mind the Erev Tafshil is included.
Who's doing the right person?
No, so everyone should have to do it themselves.
Right,
It's
right.
only if someone forgot.
The
So
first-
the Rav will usually, the Rav will make a point of making the Tafshil and having someone else who pick it up on behalf of anyone in the city who forgot to do it.
For example, if you belong to the family and the family forgot to stay in the hotel, can I either? Yeah.
Yes, because we're relying, if there's a Rav who did it, we're relying that there's a Rav in the city who's conscientious, who also looks in the city, that's there, that do it on behalf of other people, and, what is 407? Let's see what says on 407. Or. Oh. Oh. This is on page. 427. One who makes the Erev says, "Ani mezaka l'chol mi shavek l'listas v'lismach aleinu them." I hereby grant a share of this Erev to anyone who wants to participate in it and depend upon it. And then he says, and making this Erev with this, it will be permissible to us to bake, cook, and put away a dish to preserve its heat, kindle light, prepare to do on the festival all that is necessary for Shabbos, for us and all the Israelites who dwell in this city. That's what the form is. But he has another person who actually didn't get up on behalf of everyone.
Who's reading on the side? Which rabbi is reading? Who?
Well, everybody who makes a Tashil incentives, happy. Everyone usually will do this. Who won't say it? That's no question.
So, okay, so I'm gonna be deaf with someone's home, and if I still gonna do it, I'm gonna ask them, because I don't want to insult them, or say no to do it. But I know the rabbi of the community, so can I assume that either they're gonna do it, or the rabbi, I don't have to. I don't have to do it myself in here.
No. Well, you could ask them, politely, did you include me in the Tafshil? You're saying it as just ask them,
Okay.
it'll be a reminder, did you include me? You don't have to, just, did you include me? Okay, now, so this is the sale, this is the giving authority to Rabbi Azdaba to sell your comments. Now, all the places that you're keeping your comments should be locked or put a sticky tape on side. So comments, make something a reminder that this is the place you will not open up on Yom if you are not, if you're still going to be on the premises. So you'll put now this is Rabbi Azdaba's senior's pen. He's authorizing his son to give the pen. You pick it up. This is like you are giving him the authority by doing something physical by lifting up his pen more than 3 hands. You pick it up. You're authorizing Rabbi Azdaba Senior to sell your comments. You're giving him permission, and so you write the name and your address wherever you are selling your comments. Put that to premises. It could be more than one premises. It could be from many different places. So if you're selling, if it's something that's to do with your family, ask them permission beforehand that you'd like to sell their comments. So they should be aware that there's something. So, okay, so.
The address will be placed.
Yes, it's placed separately. Every premises that's. Remember to also check your cars, your comments. Bring your cars for comments, unless you're not driving the car, including the asylum. Okay, so we'll pass it around and then we'll go to Rabbi Nijeski will. No, you live with Rabbi, but you do it only once, yes. Those who already sold the chametz, put your name and address, and the premises where it is. But each one has a box, each one has their own box. Now,
How much will be?
So it's just our name, address.
Where will be?
Wherever wherever the comment.
Yeah. In all places that are indicated, the chametz is there.
Indicate.
Indicated, yeah. All places of indication, yeah.
Where's the front?
And in Hebrew, you say, "B'chol makom shehu."
So I did it, and I didn't mind it, I forgot to do that.
No, nobody else put the address,
Right.
your name.
Our name, and I didn't like your address, I not to go to. Indicated, I don't know, like I'm not.
Silly knows.
I had Georgia, and I thought that I'd be.
Put down, yes, put down that. But it's towards you.
Your name, yeah, yes, maybe wherever the
You
comment.
would like to.
No.
I have here, a handout,
Wherever the comment is indicated.
with,
I'm just fine.
these are basic terms. And,
What do you need on the end? 150, President Street.
we have I'm giving you a handout.
Yeah.
And that's
Wherever the comments from, where it is. Okay, Rabbi Baras is, Rabbi Baras is saying, Shirley.
One moment, but you did not give this out, do I?
No,
Okay. So I have here, it's a vocabulary list, 60 words. And it has two parts to it, one is generally for a holiday, and then in the center, there's another 60 terms for the actual Pesach. And it actually tests itself, then it tells you what, it also gives the definition of what all the words are. So this is something that I find very useful. And you'll test yourself to see how well you are familiar with the Hebrew or terms that
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay,